You made a decision today. Maybe it was something small, what you ordered, what you clicked, what you agreed to. You made it freely, consciously, with full control. Didn't you? What if I told you that decision was made for you, weeks, months, maybe years before today, by someone who understood your psychology better than you do? Not a conspiracy, not mind control, something far more ordinary and far more disturbing. Influence. In 1984, a psychology professor named Robert Cialdini published a book that would go on to sell over 5 million copies. A book that Fortune 500 companies use to train their sales teams, that political campaigns study before every election, that Silicon Valley engineers use to architect the apps currently living on your phone. The book is called Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, and it reveals 6 psychological triggers hardwired into the human brain that bypass rational thought and drive behavior on an almost automatic level. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly how you've been influenced your entire life. More importantly, you'll know how to stop it. Let's go. Before we get to the 6 principles, we need to understand why they work. Cialdini opens with a story about turkeys. Mother turkeys are devoted, protective parents, but their behavior is triggered by one thing, a specific sound made by their chicks. When researchers attached that sound to a natural enemy, the mother turkey nurtured it, protected it. When the sound stopped, she attacked. She wasn't stupid, she was efficient. Her brain relied on a shortcut. And humans do the same. We've evolved mental triggers that usually guide us correctly, but can be exploited with precision by anyone who knows how to activate them. Cialdini called them the weapons of influence. There are 6, and every one of them has been used on you today. The first is reciprocity. If someone gives you something, you feel compelled to give something back. This isn't politeness, it's biology. Across every culture ever studied, the obligation to repay a gift is deeply ingrained, and it is constantly exploited. In one experiment, a participant received a small, unsolicited gift, a drink. Later, they were asked to buy something. They bought more, not because they wanted to, but because they felt they owed something. The size of the gift didn't matter. The gesture created the debt. That's why free samples exist. That's why gifts often come right before a request. Your defense is simple. Recognize it. Not every gift is a gift. Sometimes it's a strategy. The second principle is commitment and consistency. Once you make a choice, you feel pressure to stay consistent with it, even when it no longer makes sense. People who agree to something small are far more likely to agree to something bigger later. Each yes reshapes how they see themselves. Behavior comes first, belief follows. That's why small commitments matter more than they seem. They're rarely the end goal, they're the beginning. The third principle is social proof. When we're uncertain, we look to others to decide what's correct. If everyone else is doing something, it must be right. But crowds can mislead. Popularity doesn't equal truth. It just feels like it does. Reviews, followers, trends, they all signal one thing to your brain. Others chose this, you should too. Your defense is to ask a different question. Why did they choose it? And does that reason apply to you? The fourth principle is authority. We are wired to obey it. Titles, uniforms, status, they trigger automatic trust, even when they're undeserved. People follow instructions not because they're logical, but because they come from someone who appears qualified. Your defense is to separate appearance from reality. Ask whether the authority is real or just a symbol. The fifth principle is liking. We say yes to people we like, and liking can be engineered. Attractiveness, similarity, familiarity, compliments. Even when we know it's happening, it still works, because the response is automatic. Your defense is awareness. Are you agreeing because it makes sense, or because you like the person asking? The sixth principle is scarcity. Things feel more valuable when they're limited, not because they are better, but but because we fear missing out. Deadlines, limited stock, exclusive access, they all create urgency. And urgency shuts down careful thinking. Your defense is to pause. If the pressure disappeared, would you still want it? If not, the desire was never real. Today, these 6 principles aren't just used by individuals. They're built into systems. Social media, apps, algorithms, all designed to trigger these responses automatically, at scale. Every notification, every like, every trending post, engineered influence. Cialdini later added a 7th principle, unity, the feeling of us, shared identity, shared belonging. When that trigger activates, persuasion becomes unnecessary. People don't change their minds, they align with their group. And once identity is involved, logic has very little power. So where does this leave you? Not powerless, but aware. These principles aren't evil. They exist because they usually help us. The danger is when they're used against us. Your only real defense is recognition, that half-second pause between impulse and action. That moment where you ask, is this my decision, or was it designed for me? Because in that moment, you still have control, and control is everything. The world is full of people who understand this. They are already using it. The only question is, are you paying attention?